This segment is brought to you by Buick. Exceptional by design.
Hey everybody, welcome into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Sunday night was a rather tragic one around our roads as on two separate incidences. Vehicles hit people that were on bicycles. Here to talk more about it is Trooper First Class Peggy Bork. She's out of Troop I. She's standing in, but she's also handling things with Troop C. So, yeah, very different night. Two different parishes, two different nights. Two cyclists were both hit by cars that night. I guess, at nighttime's a tough time for anybody, particularly on our roads around the Bayou. You don't have a lot of ways on the side of the road for these folks. So can you take us through the two incidences, Peggy?
Absolutely, yes, sir. So on that evening, two cyclists lost their lives in separate crashes, which emphasizes just the vulnerabilities faced by individuals on bicycles. The first crash claimed the life of 75-year-old Jerry Francis of Houma. The preliminary investigation revealed that Francis was riding a bicycle south on LA Highway 57 with no lights or reflective material. At the same time, a 2008 Lincoln Navigator was also traveling south. For reasons still under investigation, the Lincoln struck the rear of the bicycle. Francis sustained serious injuries and was transported to a local hospital where he later died. The driver of the Lincoln was properly restrained and uninjured. The driver of the Lincoln was not suspected of being impaired, and a voluntary breath sample showed no alcohol detected. A standard toxicology sample from Francis is pending analysis, and the crash remains under investigation. The second crash occurred later that evening and claimed the life of 28-year-old Jonathan Borge. The preliminary investigation revealed that Borge was riding a motorized bicycle north on LA Highway 308, approaching its intersection with LA Highway 657. At the same time, a 2021 Acura TLX was traveling east on LA Highway 657. For reasons still under investigation, Borge traveled through a red light, entered the intersection, and was struck by the Acura. Borge sustained serious injuries and was transported to a local hospital, where he later died. The driver of the Acura was properly restrained and uninjured. The driver of the Acura was not suspected of being impaired, and a voluntary breath sample showed no alcohol detected. A standard toxicology sample from Borge is pending analysis, and the crash remains under investigation. Troopers would just like to remind everyone that Louisiana's roadways are shared spaces used by motorists and bicycles alike. Bicycles are legally considered vehicles, and riders are required to follow the same traffic laws as drivers. When riding at night, bicycles must be equipped with a white front light and a red rear light or reflector to help stay visible. Motorists should always stay alert for bicycles, especially in low light conditions. Regardless of how you travel, visibility and attentiveness go a long way in saving lives.
Yeah, so Trooper Bork, that is a tough situation. It's ironic or just tragic that it happened at the same time. But do you see more of this now? And I know not both of them, but one of them was the e-bikes and the motorized bikes that seem to be a little more capable of going on highways. It's always dangerous. Look, like I said, no fault of the drivers a lot of times for either one in these cases. But it seems like people just trying to make their way, and they're on roads, and the roads don't have any shoulder or that kind of stuff. And I know drivers are supposed to obviously let them have the roadway, but it's tough to see a lot of times, especially if they don't have things. Do you see more of this with the e-bikes, that more people are on the roads now on bikes?
You do see a lot more e-bikes lately. It's now that it's gaining popularity, I guess. However, it's the same thing with bicycles. You see all the bicycles all the time, and people maybe not wearing helmets or not wearing reflective clothing or things that would help them in the long run to stay visible to those other motorists. Yeah, motorists need to share the road with these bicyclists. However, when you're getting out on the road and you're getting ready to go, whether it's your main form of transportation or you're just going out for a ride, making sure that you're thinking about all those things, because I think most people don't genuinely think about things like that when they're getting on the road to go for a bike ride, whether it be a motorized bicycle or a regular bicycle.
Yeah, and you're right, and it's tough to see. And you're right; they do have a right, but sometimes it's just a safety issue for those folks to make sure that they do it at the right time and maybe not at nighttime. I know some people don't have a choice, so that's the way they have. That's their mode of transportation. So, but at 8:30 and 10:30 is a real tough time for both pedestrians and I would think cyclists as well,
Especially on highways that don't have shoulders or bike lanes or lighting. It would hopefully, you think about those routes you're taking and look and see, are there lights out there? What can I do to make myself more visible? Maybe it's carrying a flashlight with you. Maybe it's putting a reflective belt on or a reflective vest or something, if you absolutely have to be on the road at that time of night where nobody can see you, right? Thinking of those little things that can hopefully save your life.
Yeah, and no doubt about it. And look, as it's summertime, you got more kids that are out and about, and we appreciate it. So, look, thanks for sitting in today and updating us on those two accidents. Nice meeting you. Nice talking to you. That's Trooper First Class Peggy Bork. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. Anytime.
All right, we'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Buick. Exceptional by design.